Well, Amber, thanks for joining me. It's great to visit with you.
Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure. My pleasure. So, where are you joining us from today?
I am currently in Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay. And when did you get back from Tokyo?
I actually flew back 2 days after my event, so I got back to the States on the 28th.
Uh-huh. Awesome. Well, first of all, thanks for your service. We appreciate that immensely.
Thank you.
Now, you come from a family that's deeply entrenched in shooting sports. Tell us a little bit about that.
I do, I kind of fought that for a long time. I grew up doing gymnastics, but, shooting has always been a fun family event for us ever since I was really young.
So you fancied yourself as like Simone Biles, but really was like Annie Oakley at heart.
Yeah, I guess pretty much. I wasn't very good at shooting when I started, to be honest, but I always had to compete with my brother and cousins and stuff like that. But yeah, I grew up doing gymnastics, and then right about 15, 16, I had a come to Jesus meeting and decided, this is something I don't really want to pursue through the rest of high school or college. So I took some time off and let my body heal up a little bit. And then I became very bored just focusing on school. So I decided I needed to compete in something, and, shooting was kind of a natural thing.
Well, I'm sure with your parents, like, so was it your dad that was more of a shotgunner and your mom was a competitive rifle shooter?
My dad shot running target, which is still a rifle discipline, but it was moving targets.
Oh, cool.
So it was the closest thing to shotgun without being shotgun. But my mom and aunt and everybody else shot rifle. And so I'm kind of the only black sheep to branch out and shoot or get into shotgun.
Okay. Very cool. So you were actually an alternate in 2016 for the Olympics, and then this year won the gold medal. So what happened over those 5 years to go from like on the fringe of making the team to, hey, I just won the gold medal at the freaking Olympics?
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy ride to get here, to be honest. Like you said, I was the alternate for 16. I just came up short for making that team, and I was living in Colorado Springs and around the Olympic Training Center. And unfortunately, I lost my dad in between Olympic trials in 16. So it was a lot for me to even just get back on the range and finish that match. But I took some time off after that, and I was really unsure if I was even going to keep shooting at that point. But my teammates, Vincent Hancock, he won the gold in Tokyo as well. That's his third one. He kind of pushed me to get back out there and start training again. I said, okay, you know what? I really feel like I have some serious unfinished business, so I'm going to go ahead and give the next quad a go, which ended up being 5 years. And the difference was I took some time and decided to join the Army, which brought me down to good old Fort Benning, Georgia. And yeah, just had a big change of pace.
So how does your training regimen work out, and how do you balance that between your Army duty?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be in 2 units in the military that support what we do. I went through the world-class athlete program at Fort Carson, and then I got attached to the Army Marksmanship Unit here in Fort Benning. So the WCAP for short kind of has a bunch of different sports all in one unit, and the AMU is just shooting kind of specific. So I'm very, very lucky to be able to, shoot and train and travel full time in skeet shooting and shotgun. And then in our off time, we're kind of doing a lot more recruiting and teaching the rest of the force how to technically be more lethal.
So apply, because you don't typically think of shotgunning as something that's as applicable to the military. Maybe like the guys who bust in the door will have a scatter gun. When you talk about your expertise, how does that apply to actual military strategy?
It really comes down to getting yourself to do what you want to do under an immense amount of pressure. So that is something that translates to the rest of the military is, having your training pay off at the right time. And in, certain cases for other military members that are deployed, those big decisions under pressure can mean life and death for them or their teammates. So pretty important.
And you're actually training, I mean, well, not training, you are headed towards a career in the military, becoming, what is your current rank? I know I have it written down, but
yeah, I'm a first lieutenant. I'm about to hit captain here in a little bit, and then we'll see. I'm coming off of active duty actually next month, where I still owe some reserve time. So I'll finish out some reserve time and then decide, what I want to do with the military after that. The cool thing is there's a lot of options and opportunities within the Army itself.
Was combat something that you ever thought you might have to do or that you would enjoy, or was that something that terrified you?
No, it's definitely intriguing. It's just in my current opportunity, this is my job, and we're fulfilling those duties by representing the U.S. and the Army on this platform. But it's definitely not out of the question. And even as a reservist or in the reserves or guard or active duty, people are still deploying. So it's definitely a potential thing.
Oh, and there's just such a mess right now in Afghanistan. It's like watching that is like, oh man, here we go again. So we'll have to monitor that. But take us through like a normal day in your life as far as training goes. So you just won the gold medal. How did you get there?
Oh, it was a lot of insanity mixed with obsession and just the will to be better. And since I have been shooting for a long time, I kind of was able to take a step back and really force myself to do more quality versus quantity. Whereas when you're first starting, you just try to shoot as much as possible and have that steady curve up. But I just expected a lot out of myself and was able to have more self-reflection and figure out what my weaknesses were on the range and through a lot of competing, just to see what part I struggled with the most. So I think that was what I spent the most time doing, was just self-reflection.
So what did you struggle with the most?
What
did you learn about yourself through that process?
So the Olympic trials is kind of a grueling process for us. It's a series of a 4-day match, and then we have 2 parts. So Olympic Trials 1 and Olympic Trials Part 2. And so after the first Olympic trials, I realized, we shoot a very, various sequences. So we'll have day 1 is 75 targets, day 2 is 50 targets. And then you go back to day 3, 75, and day 4 is another 50. And I was kind of struggling with just finishing that 50-day. Smaller amount of targets, more kind of a sprint, and I just struggled with kind of finishing that 125 little event. So to get ready for that, I told myself, hey, if I don't shoot this certain amount of or this score in training, my punishment is going to be I have to put my gun down and put it in the safe and walk away, and then figure out how or what I'm going to do tomorrow, instead of just sitting out there and getting comfortable with shooting an excessive amount of shells. I just kind of, forced myself to figure it out without training a lot.
So you would typically shoot like 75 shots in a day or 50?
That's just for,
I know those are the matches, but so like you're training regularly. I'm out at the range today. I'm going to shoot X number of.
Yeah. I mean, there were days where I was shooting 500 plus shells a day for several weeks.
Have you ever been to Argentina?
I have not, but I want to go really bad. I would love to do that. So hopefully it's in my future soon.
Yeah, I haven't been either, but I did put a deposit on a trip before COVID hit. So it's kind of been delayed. I think Argentina is like one of the countries you still can't go to. They're completely closed. So that has been tabled for another day. You won the gold medal by 1 target, and you set a new Olympic record in the process. And I think the person that you defeated was the reigning gold medal champion. That had to be like validating for all the hard work you put in.
One of our biggest rivals is Italy. You know, a lot of our shotguns come from Italy, and so they are a huge powerhouse. So, you know, right at the very end, I was committed. I was like, I am not going to listen to their national anthem today. So whatever we have to do to make that happen, I am not listening to their national anthem.
Right. So what is your favorite shotgun? I'm sure you guys have a sponsor. I don't know who it is, but what is your go-to?
Yeah, so while we're in the military, we can't have sponsorships per se, but I shoot a Perazzi MX8, which is a
That
12.
sounds Italian.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's usually you know, people kind of stick to the 3 different guns at our level. It's usually Perazzi, Beretta, or Krieghoff, which is actually out of Germany. And those guns are just built to withstand a million shells if you wanted to. They're all very, very custom. So what fits me wouldn't fit you. But yeah, they're built to last for a very long time.
Well, custom, I mean, to me, the gun comes out of the box. I put the shells in it and I go Miss Dove. So
Yeah.
I've never been fitted for a gun and I probably never will be. That's okay. I think the majority of people listening to this show probably haven't been fitted for a shotgun either. And that's okay.
Yep.
We're not on the level at the same level as you. You said this is a 28 gauge?
I
What
shoot
did
12
gauge. That's what I was going to ask
Yep.
you. So this is that the standard in the competitive community?
Yeah.
Or you
So,
do you have to shoot a 12?
no, you're not required to, but we'd be doing ourselves a disservice by taking BBs away. So you know, here in the States, you'll see younger kids shooting a 20 gauge or something like that, just to get started. And then as you progress through the ranks, then everybody's shooting a 12 gauge.
Right. I let my son shoot. I just got him a little Mossberg 410 and I
Okay.
let him shoot that at the deer lease for the first time. He's 8.
Oh, okay,
And
perfect.
and he was like, I'm good. I don't need to shoot that again for a while. I was like, so you don't want to go dove hunting this year? He was like, maybe like when I'm 10. So I think it
That
had
works.
still a little too much recoil for
Yeah.
him. He's very skinny though. Now, as far as hunting goes, is that something that you've done a lot of or dabbled in?
Oh yeah, I grew up hunting pretty much everything that Colorado would house. So yeah, my dad was a huge avid hunter, and some of my earliest memories were out in, you know, a field just sitting there forever. It felt like forever. And my birthday was actually the like kind of opening weekend of mule deer season out there. So he tricked me from a very young age into thinking that was like my birthday present. So we used to go
Smart.
hunt.
Yeah. But so have you shot a mule deer or an elk or?
I have. I've shot a few mule deer over the years. I've shot an elk a few years ago. I'm trying to get back to hopefully shoot one this year. Might need my family to go tie one up for me or something.
So did you guys do any upland hunting? I mean, you'll have a lot of grouse in Colorado.
Yeah, you know, we didn't shoot many grouse, but I shot a lot of pheasant growing up. And we would obviously, you know, my dad called it a national holiday. So he would pull us out of school and stuff. September 1st was
opening day of pheasant season?
Oh, opening day of dove season.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's the same as us here. And I don't know why kids are even required to go to school on that day. It's BS. Like my kids are not going to school. They know they're not going to school.
Yeah.
Their mom keeps telling them they are, but they're just kind of like, we just wink at each other. I'm like,
yeah, whatever.
She doesn't mean it. No, you're not going. Yeah.
Yeah,
and they love it.
Do that a lot.
Yeah. And they like to watch the dog. Like I said, my son's 8 and my girls are 6. The twins are 6. So they're none of them are pulling the trigger yet. But man, they like cleaning the dove.
Oh yeah.
They like all the snacks. Of course, we get donuts like your dad, you know, in your birthday for mule deer.
Yeah. All it took was some Kit Kat bars, I guess. That was the secret.
So explain to me how or what's the strategy behind shooting an over under? Because I always just shoot the top one first. Is that what everyone does? And is that the right way to do it? I have no idea.
It's just personal preference. Whatever you prefer there's no right or wrong answer with that.
What do you do? Because that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, we usually shoot the bottom barrel first, but
really?
we're shooting a lot of doubles. And, You can change the chokes out with how tight or wide you want your pattern. And then, it really just comes down to personal preference and trying different things.
Yeah. But there's no rhyme or reason as to why you would shoot the bottom one first.
No, we're
Okay.
just personal preference. Yeah, nothing.
Okay, interesting. Let's see what else I have for you. I'm not sure. I will say this. I was, everyone called this the woke Olympics. I didn't see as much of that as I thought I would. And I was actually hunting in Africa during a lot of the Olympic games, and we're in hunting camp. We didn't have a TV, and so I was really like out of touch with it. But my wife would send me a WhatsApp message in the evenings, and they were watching, and I was like, other than the women's soccer team, is everyone being respectful? And she said, man, it's been nice to see our athletes represent our country in a way that would make us proud. Some of them I saw, bring a tear to your eye. And I wanted to say thank you for representing the United States and what myself and I know our listeners think is a respectful manner.
Yeah, it is my honor to do that, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Us just being able to step out on that stage and wear, USA on our back or represent the good old, US. It's definitely just a lot of hard work to even get there, and we understand the sacrifice that people have done or put before us so that we even have that opportunity. So I will always stand for the flag.
Last question. If you were going dove hunting with me, how many shells would you take in your shell bag? Because the limit's 15. So would you only have 15?
I'd probably give myself like 20 just in case. You never want to run out. Oh, we do miss occasionally, but yeah, I'd give myself like I'd probably bring a box just to be safe.
I'd give myself like 50 or 60.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, maybe some of that could rub off on me, but yeah, I certainly appreciate your time. Thanks again for your service to our country and for your achievements in Tokyo.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And good luck hunting. It looks like you got some cool mounts back there.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks. You too. See you.